Wait, why is that funny? So let's get this out of the way first. This is actually not my first time making a video about how pictures on the internet annoy me. Slightly over a year ago, I made another video essay with almost the same exact title as this one about almost the same topic. In the original video, I was definitely much more pessimistic than I needed to be, but that doesn't mean that what I said then rings any less true today. In fact, maybe even more so. Originally, I complained about how lots of the memes I saw were made unfunny on purpose and how that was the punchline. The point of the joke was that the person who made the joke wasn't even trying to be funny, and yet people still laughed. But now, I don't think it would be right of me to continue acting like I think like that, especially considering that now I laugh at some of the things that I got so angry about other people laughing at over a year ago. Speaking of that, Poo-Poo Peepoo.
Bruh. Bruh.
Peepee Poopoo. Now, I know I'm not going to laugh at that because I have to edit it together, but if I could say Peepee Poopoo and have people admit to me that they found that funny, I really don't think I even need to ask if anyone laughed at that. I know how low the boat is, there's definitely going to be someone. But hey, please don't feel bad if you did laugh. I've realized that being angry about other people's senses of humor doesn't really help anyone. And in fact, yeah, maybe I'm starting to develop the sense of humor that I used to criticize so much. And while I could make an entire video about that and just sulk the entire time, I think it would be a much better idea if I instead looked to critique the comedic landscape of the internet as a whole. So let's do that. These days, I am just slightly ashamed of myself to admit that yes, sometimes I do laugh at someone saying Peepee Poopoo. And I'll admit I am a bit of a hypocrite, and while I could sulk about that and continue doing what I did last year, trying to convince you that our collective sense of humor has deteriorated and we can somehow become better if we just try hard enough, at this point I'm accepting that this is just how things are now. But even so, there is definitely a lot to discuss about how online comedy works currently. Most memes that I see on a day-to-day basis usually fall into one or two categories. You either have no punchline on purpose, or you attempt a punchline, you know, like with skits, stand-up, traditional comedy. And I specify attempt to because yes, sometimes your joke will land and you'll make some stranger on the internet laugh out of their nose, but then other times your joke will miss and then suddenly all of the replies to your joke are just people making fun of you. But let's talk about that no punchline on purpose type of comedy. If you're someone who only digests comedy that at least attempts some sort of structure, you may be thinking, how can there even be a thriving genre of comedy completely based off of the fact that there isn't a traditional punchline? And if you asked me that question, here's how I'd answer it. I have no idea. But here's what I do know. If you just make things random and unexpected, then someone is going to find comedic value in that. And originally I got so angry at that idea, blaming irony for ruining the quality of online comedy, but now I embrace it. The most validating human experience that I can have is making somebody laugh, and if all I need to do that is just then that's so easy. It barely requires any effort on my part, and yet people are still going to find a way to enjoy that. And I get that this probably sounds like the most backhanded compliment that I could possibly give, but really, if you laugh at that type of stuff, thank you so much. Peepee Poopoo. Now I realize I've been uncharacteristically optimistic with everything so far, but things get iffy from here. One of the most amazing things about the internet, while simultaneously being one of the most terrifying, is the fact that you can always find an audience who will listen to you. On most platforms, it will take at least some effort with you needing to fine-tune whatever you make so that the all-powerful algorithm will show it to people who care. But with Reddit, it's different. Reddit is entirely made out of communities that hyper-focus on one specific topic, so all you really need to do to get your opinion out there is to just find a specific group of people who already think like you do. An echo chamber, as the cool kids might call it. And eventually, if you get enough worthless internet points to pass the posting threshold, you might be able to post to more mainstream subreddits like r/dank memes. And then suddenly, whatever you post can be seen by an audience of tens of thousands of people at any given moment. Honestly, isn't that a bit scary? But here's the important question: what do you show to the audience? And I might be able to guess your first answer: oh, just something funny I made. And while I can respect you thinking that, let's be honest here, that is definitely not everyone's only motivation. This might be a bit of a hot take, but memes really are just this generation's version of propaganda. Obviously not every single meme, but think about it. There's even an entire genre of meme that's just someone pointing at and agreeing with a message or giving some sort of lecture where the entire purpose of that meme is to just send a message to a widespread audience. There is no possible comedic value in that. There is no way to pass that off as just a funny picture. The people who make that are using the idea of a meme to send people a message. And then people listen. Now, not every meme with a message in it is something serious, but when it is serious, it is so easy to listen to memes like that when you, like so many other people in our generation, are dependent on the internet and its infinite collection of funny things to keep you happy. You are the audience. No matter what social media platform that you use the most, there is going to be an ever larger main feed, which you are going to waste your day looking at because you know that some of the posts in that feed are going to make you laugh, and that is one of the only things that makes you feel not terrible anymore. But of course, some of the posts in that feed are going to try to do much more than just make you laugh. They are going to send you a message, and you won't even realize that you've listened. You're just going to exhale out of your nose and continue scrolling. Is this healthy? That doesn't matter, it's funny. I think we've all realized at one point or another that the internet is just not a healthy place to live, and while there are countless reasons I could use to explain why, I'm going to save elaborating on most of them for a future video and instead just focus on one thing that I see a lot: our constant making fun of each other. I'm not talking about just playful banter between friends or something. I'm talking about what I like to call a vicious cycle. Let me give you an example. You know that image from like a minute ago? You know, where Luigi is threatening to explode something if you use a specific social media platform? Yeah. Unsurprisingly, that was a meme I found on Reddit. Even more unsurprising, that is absolutely not the first meme Reddit users have made against other social media platforms, let alone the first one against TikTok. Previously, I said that Reddit was supposedly the king of all memes, but it's clear now that that's only what Reddit users think. And if you go onto those shunned websites like Instagram and TikTok, you're probably going to see memes against Reddit too. And justifiably so. I mean, with most of Reddit's user base having plainly obvious superiority complexes, people are going to complain. But then those complaints only make Redditors all the more angry, seeing their all-holy websites being treated the same way they treat other websites. So then Reddit users are going to make more memes complaining about TikTok and Instagram users, and the cycle repeats. But now let's focus on TikTok. Not everyone is meant to be a comedian. I think we can all agree on that. But on TikTok, if you're a woman and your joke doesn't land for whatever reason, boys are going to use you as justification to just blatantly say that all women aren't funny. Are you kidding me? But then if you try to explain to the people who say that that's absolutely not how that works at all, then you will get called a simp. People will reply, "I hope she sees this, bro." Maybe you'll get called a snowflake, and just a bunch of other things that are not necessary to list. And TikTok, like YouTube, is entirely video-based, which means that everything that you make has to have your face and body, or at the very least your voice, attached to it, which also means that if the stereotypical commenter boy doesn't understand who you are, then you might have what is the only place on the internet where you feel genuinely comfortable ruined for you, because people won't stop making fun of you because you're different than them. And on that note, let's talk about snowflakes. One group of people will call another group of people snowflakes for expressing basic human empathy and compassion towards one another, which will obviously make the second group angry because they're being demeaned for just being a good person, but the first group will continue defending what they're saying under the guise of dark humor, even if whatever they're saying is absolutely unfunny and has no joke to it at all, meaning that they're either genuinely a terrible person or they're saying terrible things for the sake of shock value, which are both awful. But anyways, the first group's actions only make the second group feel more unwelcome and alienated, which then makes the second group hate the first group more, and now that the first group has more material, they'll bully the second group more, and it goes on and on. These are all vicious cycles. Nothing good can come out of them. And maybe, yeah, I am taking all of this a bit too seriously, but my point still stands. We constantly participate in an environment which was made to thrive off of cyberbullying people with pictures and videos and copy pastas, which we all collectively decided are supposed to be funny. Is this healthy? Absolutely not. And is this funny? You guess. I am not going to blame the downfall of online comedy on the fact that we laugh at different things than what we used to, but I am going to blame it on the fact that the people who we depend on for comedic internet content rarely even try to be funny anymore. In my first video, I said that the people who create the humor that we laugh at suck, and while that is a bit mean, it's not necessarily wrong. For lots of people, the internet is barely a place to just make jokes anymore, but instead an outlet to express opinions thinly veiled as jokes, because that's what their audience expects from them. And even if they are genuinely trying to be funny, it's probably going to be something unexpired, because they're most likely going to follow a formula that they already know works for them. It's either going to be the same thing or something worse. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a pretty prominent group of people who just make random things to be random because they know that there's an audience who's going to laugh at that, because there definitely still is.
That's what your mama did.
But even then, when you try to take everything only lightheartedly, you end up with people like Grande, one of the internet's biggest meme creator people, putting COVID-19 as a contender for Meme of the Month. And I should not have to tell you why that's a bad thing. Something interesting about the internet is just how volatile it is. Each day, every culture and subculture that makes up every website that we visit morphs into something slightly different than what it was the day before. And yes, while that might mean things might eventually get worse, things might also get better in the future. Maybe this time next year, I'll be making another video essay about how the things I said here were incorrect, just like how I did with last year's video. If I had to describe the comedic landscape of the internet in just a few words, I think I would call it an abundantly large oil spill. But don't let my negativity fool you into thinking that everything's helpless. There really are some shiny things in the rough. You just have to know where to look and who to look with. That's all I have. Peepee Poopoo. So, memes, am I right? I've seen this sort of segment idea a lot. You know, after the main meat of a video, the creator of the video will talk unscripted directly to the audience. So that's what I'm doing. Originally, I was so scared to do something like this because I was so uncomfortable with acknowledging the meta of a video, which was stupid because I made videos about things on YouTube. So you think it would be okay of me to just like blatantly say, oh, this is a video essay. No, I wanted everything to be like some sort of experience which you watched and then probably immediately forgot about, but maybe it lingered in your head. Yeah, obviously I've grown out of that though, so hi, it's me, Aiden, Mervaden, whatever. Did you like the video? I hope so, because it's the first one in 10 months. I hope it's a good, new first impression. I think my goal now is just going to be to upload once a month, which is hopefully feasible. I will be uploading more on my second channel, which is now called Moraden. You know, you get more content, but it's of lesser quality because I don't hold myself to any standards there. So that's your trade-off. Subscribe to it if you want like one update video every month. I should stop giving a thumbs up. What else was I meaning to say here. Yeah, next month is my decade anniversary of being on YouTube. October 3rd, 2010, I uploaded my first video, created my first channel. 10 years later, I have ruined my life. But it's also a lot of good video essay material, so expect some sort of decade anniversary coming October 3rd, 2020. And for the next months, not really sure. I don't want to waste too much time here, so, I think that's everything I need to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you thought of it. That's all. Okay, goodbye.